first reading, St. Paul tells us something completely strange, as for me, because this is what he says. We know that all things work for good for those who love God. Wait a minute, what do you mean, St. Paul, by all things? Like everything? It's not possible. How can everything, every single thing, how can it work for my good? I mean, there are some things in my life, or even so many things in my life, that cannot really work for my good. How can my sin work for my good? Or, things that people do to me, like evil things, like when they hurt me with words, or with what they do not do, how can they work for me? How can it be for my good? And so I can ask St. Paul, so what do you mean by everything? And Paul says, well, by everything, I simply mean everything. Yeah, I mean, I can, continue and say, yeah, I know, it sounds pretty cool. Everything works for my good if I love God, but we both know that it's not like this, that many things in life are not for good. And Paul says, oh, okay, by everything, I mean everything. So what about sin, St. Paul? And he says, have you ever heard about this beautiful chant that we use for Easter, which is exalted? And it goes, "Oh, happy fold that earned for us so great, so glorious a Redeemer." So even the sin, even your sin, can work for your good, because God can change it into something good. Now, St. Paul says, who can change something that is not good into good thing? Who can do it? No one. No one can do it except God. Only God has the power to change what is evil to something that is good, into good thing. So only God can assure us that everything in our life can be for our good, even those things that hurt us, even those things that may make us sad or unhappy in the first moment. But God can change everything in the things that work for you, for your good, for your salvation. Not now, not in this minute, this second, but in your future. God can do it. So who can understand it? Who can really accept that everything in your life is for your good if you love God, which means if you give your heart to God, if you trust God? And St. Paul can answer this question. He says, well, just listen to the first reading. If you do not have wisdom, you cannot understand it. And this wisdom is not knowledge. It's not what you have read in books, or what you think you know. It is what is given by God. This is why the King Solomon, he's not asking for money, for health, for, great and important things for him, but he's asking for wisdom. Why? Because he wants to have this ability to tell good from wrong, to do what is good, and not for himself, but for the people of God. And he knows, the king knows that this is not his people, that he knows exactly that this is the people of God. It's like with our life. Your life doesn't belong completely to you, but it's a gift from God, so you cannot do anything. So ask for wisdom so that you may know what you should be doing, so that you may understand what God wants you to do, what God wants you to be. And with this wisdom that comes from God, you can understand that everything in your life can work for your good. But, of course, it's crucial to trust God. Without trusting Him, you cannot believe that everything works for you. Without trusting Jesus, you cannot really be happy. You will see that, people hurt you, that people are your enemies, that you are your enemy, that you cannot, love yourself, you cannot accept yourself without trusting Jesus, without giving him your heart. It cannot be done. So in the gospel, we hear about this treasure, about the pearl, and about those men who this man found the treasure. So he goes, and out of joy he sells everything he has. So he does it because he has joy in his heart. He sells everything. But sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes it's hard. But really, Jesus wants you to give him everything you have. Sometimes it may look like he wants us to be beggars, like, someone without anything, completely naked, without anything. But this is good, because this makes us call to him. If I can see that I don't have anything, I call to him, help me. You're the pearl. You are the treasure I need. So if I am full of, garbage, things that are not really important, things that are not good for me, I have to clean myself. I have to throw everything away. So I'm asking you for wisdom. Teach me how to do it. And it can be painful to, get rid of things that you think you like, you think you love, you think those things are important for you. But Jesus really knows what is important for you. So he wants to give you the pearl, the treasure, himself. So don't worry, just trust him. Trust Jesus Christ. I have this beautiful picture here of Jesus, and Jesus opens his heart and he says, it's for you. It's for everyone, my heart. The water, the blood that cleans you. So don't be afraid, just come. And this treasure, this pearl, is for you. And really everything in your life works for your good if you trust me. So do trust me.